Okay, two things today. Um, First of all, it is Sunday, the 25th of August, not Saturday, the 24th. Did you ever have one of those days where you know you did something, but you really didn't do it? Well, yesterday was that day because I was quite certain that I had recorded um, a blog post for yesterday because I knew it was going to be a busy day and I wanted to go ahead and make sure I took care of that. So one of two things happened. Either I recorded it and didn't save it, which is really quite possible, and something else we're going to talk about in a minute, I guess. Um, but I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. It's journal in that, and as a result, this is journal 149 and T+144, and I have all these really negative emotions that I'm dealing with right now: guilt and concern that I could forget something as important to me as that, and yet I shouldn't because it's not like I'm going to lose my job, right? I mean, it's like it's uh, it's odd. It's just that yesterday I had my first workout, real workout, at the Y in the workout room where I was actually doing more than playing with 5 pound weights, trying to go ahead and recover, and trying to gain some of my strength back and some of the muscle mass I lost, and um, just generally feel better. And it's amazing how hard that is. The older you get, the more difficult it becomes to recover. But I'm not going to let me. I'm not going to let that stop me. So I'm going to make believe that I did do a blog post yesterday. We're just not going to talk about that anymore. It's going to be like it never happened. Um, but it did, and it's interesting because what I was going to talk about today um, are those dark moments of care and concern that anyone going through. Let's rephrase that it would be natural for anyone going through what I'm going through with the transplant to wonder about and to worry about and to be concerned about. And I'll give you an example of that. One of the big problems, we've talked about this a lot, is graft versus host disease, and that can manifest itself in many different ways, some of which are obvious and some of them not so obvious. One of the ways that I'm told it can manifest itself is through pruritus, through itching, and that's that signals that there's something going on within the body that's causing that itch, and it could be a beginning or light case of GVHD, and that you could live your whole life without knowing that, but you have to know it in order to go ahead and survive, in order to continue. So every time that you wind up having an itch, and I don't think most of us ever think about how often that is, but it's probably more often than any of us really consider. Um, the thought goes through your head is like, am I itching because I'm itching, or am I itching because there's something going on inside my body that I really need to know about? Is this just a normal rash because it's hot outside, da 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 da, or is this something that's more, ominous, more sinister, uh, something to be more concerned about, like GVHD? And there are other things that occur like that, uh, where all of a sudden your mind immediately goes to the darkest place possible, um, not because you want it to, not because you're happy there, not because it's a fun place to be, or someplace you want to reside, um, but because human nature is such that in many cases you go there because there's a possibility for calamity, for catastrophe, for concern, and you should be aware of it, and perhaps take action regarding it. and despite the fact that it's kind of a normal place to go, or you'd like to believe it's a normal place to go, or um, to channel that dark energy, you can't live there. I mean, you can't really spend a lot of time in there. You can't really worry about um, whether or not that itch is GVHD, whether or not some kind of a GI intestinal kind of a problem is normal, and because of the jalapenos you ate the other night, um, or any of the other spicy food that you ate the other night, or something else going on in your body. I don't know. Maya's really likes spicy food. I mean, there's stuff that I never ate because I didn't care much for food that was that spicy, and now there's lots of it I can't get enough of. It's crazy. It's nuts. I guess I shouldn't worry about understanding it, but it sure is odd to have something as basic as your likes and dislikes with regard to food choices challenged. But it's interesting. But frankly, you can't go there. You can't think about that stuff. You really need to be much more positive and optimistic about what's going on. Mostly because that positive attitude and that level of optimism and that energy, that positive energy that you bring to any given situation at any given time is critical in order for you to get through it, in order for you to put that one foot in front of the other. You've got to believe that when you step down, when you move that foot and when you step down, that you're going to be on firm ground, and that you're not going to step into a manhole cover and trip and fall, or you're not going to walk off the abyss, down a 1,500-foot canyon or anything like that. That there's some reasonable chance that the result's going to be positive and going to take you in the direction that you need to go. And those are all things that are critically important, and they're cause for meditation. I mean, there are things that you want to very quietly sit and consider as you put yourself in the future that you desire. That you can see yourself in that future. That you can see yourself moving forward, and those moments of abject terror, and there are dark moments. There, you can't escape them. You can't get away from them. There are dark moments that you're going to experience that you can't ignore, but you've got to learn how to compartmentalize them, put them away, recognize that they're real, recognize that they may be slightly more than monkey brain chatter, but they warrant consideration, but not paralysis. You know what I mean? You can consider what they are. You can really be aware of that. You can ask your doc about them. You can turn around and ask, a paid professional about them, but you can't let them paralyze you. You can't let them stop you from moving forward, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. You're going to go to. For me, yesterday was one of those moments that could have gone either way. I went to the gym. I started working out. I worked out with weights that were much, much lighter than anything I've ever worked out with, in anything that even resembles the recent past. And was lucky to get 3 sets of 10 or 12 of anything done with really light weights. And I'm sore of this. And I only worked out for 40 minutes, which is, used to work out for an hour and a half at times. Wasn't able, to complete the workout. And that would have driven me into a really world-class deep depression. But the fact of the matter is, I had to turn that around and say, listen, you just got through a life-altering experience where, where you were at death's door, and here you are doing this stuff. Isn't it great that you can do this much? And won't it be wonderful when you do more tomorrow? And I guess maybe that's the best lesson of all that comes out of this, is that we've all got to embrace the idea that tomorrow has the potential to be a better day for all of us, for any one of us, than today was. And then we've got to work diligently to make it so. So I apologize for being brain dead yesterday. I'm liable to recover that video wherever it went. If I saved it, and if I didn't, I apologize. There's a lot going on with the book and everything else. Negotiating to gain control over the 8-volume management set that I created years ago. Dealing with that company and dealing with other things, around the release of the book and other decisions that have to be made. And those are not excuses, by the way. They're explanations more than anything else. And they're for me. They're really not for you. They're for me, so that I don't feel like I'm losing it. In any case, I will work diligently to make sure it doesn't happen again. In the meantime, stay well, take care. Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye-bye.